Good afternoon. My name is Rachel Winenberg, the Helpful Art Teacher, and I'm trying to learn the app Adobe Character Animator. And I want to show you all the cool things I've been able to get Character Animator to do. If you look real closely at my eyebrows, you will see that they shift up and down. If you look at my eyes, they are tracking, looking to the left and the right. That is due to the webcam on the computer. I'm also able to sync my mouth movements using the webcam in order to lip sync, which is really super cool. The other thing that I'm able to do is I'm able to create weather by moving the sky, which is really neat. So that's really cool that I can do that. Um, Now, the other thing is I can get my hands to move independently. Um, so when I click on the number 1 key, this hand goes into a fist. When I click on the number 2 key, it points. This arm also moves independently. And the same thing, when I click on the number 3, it goes into a fist. When I click on the number 4, it points. So I can actually point to the weather as the clouds are going by, and I've actually made my background interactive by making it draggable. So if I want to make this hand go into a fist and hit the palm of my hand, make it look like I'm looking for a fight, I can do that. This is all due to something called rigging. It's where you actually take the artwork that you drew in Photoshop, you bring it into Character Animator, and you rig the puppet. And I'll be showing you how to do that. I'm going to create a tutorial. I'm going to be showing you today the Adobe app Character Animator. If you have a subscription to the Adobe Creative Cloud, you already own this program and you probably don't know how to use it. The first thing you need to do is you're going to go into Photoshop and you're going to create what's called your puppet or your character. Now, the character is made of several different layers that you can then later rig in Character Animator. So let me just show you what those layers are. I have here the eyebrows, and it's in, as you can see, they're in a group. So when I open up the group, you're going to see the right eyebrow and the left eyebrow. The next one you're going to see is the mouth, and that's super complicated. You're going to see, if I just open up the group, that I have every single mouth position layered here. If I were to lay it all out to show you all the different alphabets, it would look something like this. So what I did was I took a picture with my phone, a selfie with my phone, of my mouth making these sounds. I brought them into Photoshop and I created drawings, simplified drawings based on those mouth positions to create all these different mouths. And then if you go, let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, and I created basically a personal lip sync alphabet. And if you go over to, let's see, if you take a look here, you'll see them all stacked on top of each other. So each one in the layer actually has the mouth and what sound it makes. And this actually tells Character Animator when it's lip syncing what mouth to make appear when you're making that sound. And the plus sign in front of it just means that that layer is interactive and independent. So that's the mouth layer. And let's see, let's go back. Let me close this group, and you're going to then see the head layer, which is actually by itself, and there's no plus sign in front of it because in this animation I actually do not want the head to move. I want it to stay still. And then in the body group, if I open that up, you're going to see the right arm, and there's a subgroup for the right arm, which is, I'm going to close all the subgroups because I think it's easier to see if I just open them one at a time. Okay, If I open up the right arm subgroup, you're going to see right hand open, right hand closed, and right hand pointing. And if I close that, and then the left arm subgroup, I open that up, same thing. It just means the hands are in different positions. So I'm actually going to hide the open hand to show you underneath the closed hand. I'm going to hide the closed hand and the open hand, and you'll see that underneath is the pointing hand. And they're all in the subgroup of left arm. Now notice, I would think of this as the right arm, but it's the left arm. And that's because you're going to be using the webcam to animate the person. You need to think about the person looking in the mirror, that this is a puppet, but it's actually a mirror image of you. So it's not my left arm, it's the left arm of the person pictured here. So it's everything left and right are opposite. It's a little confusing. And then the bottom would be the body. Now, it's very important how you stack stuff. So you want to put the face underneath the lips and the face underneath the eyes. Otherwise, the eyes will be hidden. You want everything in the correct order. In order for the arm to link onto the body, it's actually going to have to be in a layer above the body, or else it won't link on properly. So let me just go over. I just created this. Let's see if I can find it. This untitled. Um, this untitled document with a head in it, and I'm going to show you how you bring the eyes in and how you bring the mouth in. What I did was I went over to my original mouths, my original lip sync alphabet, and not this one, personal lips, about this one, personal lip sync alphabet. And you're going to go to Window, and you're going to open up Libraries, okay? And when you open up the library, actually, it is open here. It's just hidden under this panel. So when you open up the library, you're going to be able to take this group, which is in this folder, and pull it into the library. I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so I'm going to take this group, and I'm actually going to pull it into the library. And what that'll do is I can then pull it out of the library into another document, which is what I want. So I'm going to go here to this untitled, this untitled document. And I need the eyes, the eyebrows, the mouths, which I've already created. And that way you can use these things in multiple puppets over and over again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this document, I'm going to go to the window, and I'm going to look up libraries. And theoretically, there we go, there's the mouth. I want to take this mouth. Let me see if I right click here. And what I want to do is I want to, instead of placing the link, I want to place the layers. Okay, there's the layers, and you can see they're too big. So let me see. I'm going to need to shrink the mouth by transforming it. Edit, transform, scale. All right, and this will hopefully make the lips a lot smaller, and I'll be able to play around with them a little bit better. Okay. I've made the lips smaller. I still don't know if they're small enough, but I'm going to now hit the magnifying glass, make the entire document bigger, but you can see that I was able to resize all the mouths at once, and that's because they're all in a group. Let's see, edit, transform, and scale. And let me just scale it down, and I need to place it so that it's centered. Mouth looks a little small. I'm going to make it a little bigger and then center it again. And I think that's about right, so I'm hitting the check mark. Now, right now, they're all layered on top of each other, and I probably don't want that. I'm going to probably hide most of them so I can see how the face looks. Like that, so it's just a smile. And now, if I want to reposition it, I don't want to just reposition the smile, I want to reposition everything. So I'm going to close the group, mouth, click on it, and I can hit edit, transform, scale, and I think I need to make it just slightly bigger. And I want to now center it. Okay, and I hit the check mark. And what that did was it centered the entire stack. Try and do it one layer at a time, you're going to throw everything out of whack. So now I'm going to go back to my library, and it's now the eyes that I want to. Oh, I still need my layers menu. So now, right click, place layers, and that will put the eyes in here as well. Now, the eyes are actually already the right size. I just need to move them. And if you keep the layer closed and you click move, if I hit the control button, I can move them all in the group. So maybe that's it. Eye, control. There we go. So if you hit the control button, you can actually move the entire layer as a group. I mean, the entire folder as a group. So that's what I just did. And now let's go back to the library, and you can see the eyebrows. So first off, let's close the eye layer so that everything's closed. And now we want to move the eyebrows over. Right click, place layers. Now we got our eyebrows. And now if you hit the control button, it'll take both eyebrows and move them up to the correct position. All right, so now I basically have my head. One of the things about the eyebrows is that when they go up, sometimes they overlap the hair. So what I actually did with this puppet was I actually had another layer called hair, which was just the bangs. So I'm going to drag that into my library. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to my untitled document and back to the library. And I want to take this hair layer, right click, and place layers, and that puts it here. And now if I hit the control, because it's two different pieces, move it up here. That way when the eyebrows move in the puppet, they will be moving in the underneath the hair instead of on top of it. So let me just show you again what our layers menu looks like right now. Find it. There's my layers menu. Okay. So right now, on top is the hair, then comes the eyebrows, then comes inside that folder is the right eyebrow and left eyebrow. Then comes the mouth, and inside that folder are all the mouth positions. Then comes the head, and last the background. And that's pretty much it. I probably don't need the background at all. As a matter of fact, you can probably just probably best to delete the background because you don't want a white square showing up in your animation. Go down here. It says create a new group down in the bottom right hand corner. If you click on that and you can create a group. I don't need to do it, but I'm going to do it right now. And it's called group 1. And what you do is you name it head, lips, whatever you're going to name it. And then you put all your layers inside that group, and that'll group your stuff so that you can manipulate it and play around with it for the sake of the Adobe Character Animator. In this case, This is just to show you how you would import the assets and create and build your puppet. Going over here, and this was all drawn in Photoshop using a Wacom drawing tablet and stylus. If you go back over to my original puppet that I have here with the body, the left arm, the right arm, the head, the eyes, mouth, hair, all in this order. And remember I showed you before there were actually 3 arms because the hands are in different positions. So now, keeping that in mind, I'm now going to go over to Character Animator and show you how the puppet is rigged. You can see that if you look in Character Animator, you're going to see the puppet and it's limp synced. It's actually moving to in accordance with my mouth and my eyes. Okay, so what this is done is it's done through something called rigging. Let's see. Project. I'm going to go File, New Project. And I'm going to name it Learning How to Rig a Puppet. Okay, I'm going to hit Save. And now I'm going to click on the project panel and double click on it. And I'm going to get my puppet desktop. Date modified today. Puppet layers with body, layers with body and multiple hand positions. I'm importing it, and now I have to rig it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click here to create a new scene, and you're going to see here I am in Character Animator, and it actually looks pretty good right now. So what I'm going to do is I want to be able to do things like drag my hand and stuff like that. So I'm going to go over to rig. Okay. And there's a couple of things that I need to do. First off, the body, you put the origin right where the head and neck meet. The head, okay, so there's the body, there's the origin. Let's see. Okay. One of the things is if you look at the right arm, it's got these little crowns next to each of the hand open, hand closed, and right hand point. I don't want that. I want them to all move together as a group, as right arms. So I'm going to get rid of these crowns. So now the entire arm is going to move together as a group. So I click right arm, which is actually this arm to your left. I'm going to click on it, and the first thing I need to do is I need to move the pivot point up to the shoulder, because that's where I want the arm to turn. And I'm going to click on the little icon here that corresponds. So there's the right shoulder, and that shows where it's supposed to pivot. That's my pivot point. And then I need to make it draggable. So I have to add a draggable handle. And I'm going to add that draggable handle to the wrist. And I click right there. And this is the draggable handle tool. Okay, so now it says right shoulder here, and the draggable handle is going to also be the right wrist. So I'm going to click there, and you see how these tags get added so that the Adobe Character Animator actually knows what you're doing. The other thing is I'm worried that if I start dragging the arm around, it's going to bend like a piece of wet spaghetti. So I'm going to use this, which is called the stick tool. And I'm going to go from the shoulder to the elbow and make a stick, and then from the elbow to the wrist and make another stick. And that way, when I drag it around, it's actually going to bend at the elbow. Now, the next thing I need to do is I actually need to create a swap set because I need to be able to swap between the hand open, the hand closed, and the hand pointing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to just drag right arm over here and I'm going to create a swap set. Okay, so it's highlighted with the right hand open. That means the first thing you're going to see is the right hand open. When I press the number 1 key, the right hand will close until I let go of it, and then it'll go right back to right hand open. And then if I press the number 2 key, the right hand will point until I let go of it. Okay, and that's how I've set up my swap set. And I'm going to now test to see if this actually works. I'm going to go over to the record, and first of all, I'm going to put my face in position and set my rest pose. Okay, so that's the rest pose. And now, hopefully, I can drag my hand around, yes, and then I can click a 1 and the hand will close, and I can click a 2 and the finger will point. You can see it a little better if it's in front of the body. If I click a 2, the finger will point. If I click a 1, it'll close. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the rig mode, and I want to do the same with the left arm. So I open it up, and I see that all these underlying arms have little crowns on them, which means that they'll behave independently. The issue is that what'll happen is it'll look like one of those Indian gods where you have like lots of arms because you're just telling the program that each arm can move independently. I don't want them to move independently. I actually want them to all move together. So I'm going to get rid of this crown, get rid of this crown, get rid of this crown. There's only a crown on the left arm, which means the left arm can move. So I'm going to click left arm. There it is. I'm going to take the origin point and I'm going to move it up to the shoulder. Okay. And I'm going to click left arm here so that it knows it's a left shoulder. Clicking it right there. And now I want to add a draggable. So I'm going to use my drag tool. And my draggable point is going to be the wrist. So I'm clicking there. And then I'm going to click the left wrist. So now Computer Animator knows it's a left wrist. And I don't want it to look like a piece of spaghetti, so I'm going to use the stick tool. There we go. Okay. So theoretically, the arms should be all set. So I'm going to go over to record. And, oh, but I forgot to do the swap set. I'm going to go back to rig. And I'm going to take left arm and I'm going to drag it over here and create swap set. And again, open is the default. When I hit the 3 key, the left hand will close. And when I hit the 4 key, it'll point. Okay, so now I've got my swap set. So theoretically, if I go over here to record, it's preparing the scene, and I can now drag the hand around, press the 3 and it'll close, and the 4 and it'll point. Let's do that again. 3 closes, the 4 points. So I've now created my puppet. I've rigged it. The lip syncing looks good. The eyes seem to be tracking pretty well. Sometimes there's other troubles that you have to fix, but in this case, everything seems to be working pretty well. So now what I would do is I would record. Now, there's several different things you can do with the background. One thing you can do is put a green screen in the background, and then you can overlay it with another video animation later. That'll so the puppet's in the foreground, and then you can have another animation, completely different animation going on in the background. That's usually pretty cool. The way you do that is use a green screen and you bring it into a video editing program and you use the keyer filter, which makes all the green disappear. Okay, I'm really experimenting here. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this green screen and overlaying it with another animation that I made of some jumping cats. The other thing you can do is you can actually put a background in, like a photograph, and you can even take a background and make it draggable, so the photograph is dragging across the background. The way you would do that is going back to your rig mode. Is you would click on the project scene, double click. I'm going to now go to my downloads because I downloaded a pretty picture of a sky before. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to import it. Okay. And it's now here under the project. I can actually drag it in, and I'm going to put it way at the bottom here. Okay, so now that you can see that it's at the bottom, I'm going to click on the cloud layer, and I'm going to take the little crown off the cloud layer, but I'm going to click underneath it on the cloud JPEG layer. I'm going to drag the point of origin all the way over to the right, and I'm going to create a drag handle all the way to the left. And this should enable me to move my sky. And now I'm ready to actually create my animation. Let me just go over to the record mode and see what it looks like. And yep, I'm able to move my sky over. It's very important that you take the little crown off the sky layer, because otherwise it'll connect to the arms and the arms will get dragged with it. So you have to take the crown off the sky layer and you got to go underneath to the JPEG layer. But now I'm ready to create my animation. Let's see how it looks. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this. I can't wait to share it with my students. And now I'm going to wave bye-bye. This is Mrs. Winenberg, the Helpful Art Teacher.